It's time for the Culture Trumpet Podcast. Please welcome your hosts, Dan.
Alright, Boyle, tidy.
And the other one, Mark.
Hey up, Chuck. Make us brew.
We're back, just in time for the end of the year.
It's like a glory grab, isn't it? It's not like nothing to be proud of here at all.
No. This year we've certainly been lacking in episodes this year, but I think a combination of things. We've just both been pretty busy, and also there's not been a huge amount that has kind of got us excited enough, I guess.
I think it's that, and just the idea of talking about some of this stuff has just been, no, I've just not wanted to.
But having said that, we've put together a list of stuff from the year, film, TV, music, bits and pieces, and then maybe a few things that we want to look at next year. We'll try and rattle through these. I think on the whole, I'm sure if you're listening to this, you're going to be complaining that we've missed a load of stuff.
Of course we will have. This is us.
Of course we will. But again, I think in general, I think we're keeping this to stuff that at least one of us has seen, just to try and keep it talking about it with a bit of experience and knowledge of it. And
knowledge is a bit of a stretch.
Yeah.
Stuff that we've sort of found interesting over the year that we should probably re-talk about. That's about it, really.
That's it.
That'd be a terrible title, wouldn't it? Stuff that Dan and Mark found interesting in 2024.
I think that sums it up, to be fair. But we'll try and get through it in a fairly reasonable length of time. Hopefully, it'll be a single recording. Let's get cracking. Films. There's actually been some pretty good films out this year.
Yeah, it felt proper. Like, I know when Top Gun Maverick came out last year, the year before, I know that felt like a return to pre-COVID cinema. It was a proper Hollywood blockbuster. This year felt like that to me. And some of the ones you're looking at the list here, we can say that Twisters, for example. Oh, look, I'm starting with Twisters. Let's do that. Twisters. Back in the 90s, massive Hollywood blockbuster by Universal Pictures.
Yep.
And I felt this one was also, again, proper action, adventure Hollywood film. Was it needed? Absolutely not. Did I enjoy it? You bet your Glenn, what's his face's hat I did. Shit, I forgot his name. Glenn Powell.
Glenn Powell, yeah.
Oh, hubba. Yeah.
Or Chad Radwell, if you're a Scream Queens fan.
No.
Oh.
No,
well.
Not seen it.
Oh, it's very funny. Anyway, I digress.
Twisters, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I liked how it stood on its own. It was one of those. It didn't really let you know if it was a sequel or a complete standalone, because there's references, but not really a real direct tie.
Yeah.
But it's loud. The effects are pretty decent. And I mean, it's it's a proper disaster film. It's great. Thoroughly enjoyed it.
So I haven't seen it. Not 'cause I don't want to. It's still on the list, but it's just getting round to it. As you'll see as we go through this, there's been so much else to watch. But no, I like Glenn Powell. I first saw him on Scream Queens, which is a comedy horror.
I've heard of it.
Murder mystery slasher, kind of Scream,
right?
Style, but a TV show set in a university. Really funny, and he plays this jock kind of character called Chad Radwell, who always refers to himself in the third person. And I thought in that he was hilarious. So
that's something I'll add to my list, actually.
And Jamie Lee Curtis is in it.
Yes, of course she
Brilliant.
is. She's the Scream Queen.
She is fantastic. And I just thought it was in that he's fantastic, and I'm kind of happy to watch him in anything.
Did that come out this year?
What, Scream Queens?
Specifically hit. Well, why are we talking about it then? Move on.
Because I'm just saying that's where I first saw it. Anyway, Twisters. Yes, I'm going to look to watch that.
And whilst we're on Glenn Powell, is it Hitman or The Hitman? I can't.
Oh yeah.
He was also in that on Netflix. Again, he was a bit everywhere for me this year.
Yeah.
Again, simple comedy based on a true story.
Yes.
But very fun.
Yeah. Yeah, again, I haven't seen it, but I do want to.
Okay, that's two that we've not both seen.
Okay, have you seen The Fall Guy?
Yes.
Okay, what did you think of that?
Um, I went into it after seeing the trailer going, oh, that looks fun.
Mm.
And then the film that I ended up watching to me didn't correspond to what I saw in the trailer.
Mm-hmm.
I thoroughly enjoyed it,
Mm.
but I couldn't get that's Ken
Mm.
out of my head.
Mm. Mm.
What about you?
I enjoyed it. I thought, as a kind of, obviously directed by David Leitch, who co-directed the first John Wick. He did Atomic Blonde and Deadpool 2. So
Bullet Train.
Bullet Train, which I fucking love. Bullet
I
Train.
rewatched that this year. Anyway,
Anyway, so as a genuine, like they said it at the time, a love letter to stunt work.
Even
Brilliant.
the press was honing into that, and it was brilliant.
I thought it was fantastic as a love letter to stunt work. As a film wrapped around a love letter to stunt work, I thought it was a little bit lacking. I thought the pacing was a little bit up and down.
Yes, it felt like two films for me.
Yeah, it was very. Now I watched the extended version. Maybe that's why. Obviously, maybe it felt a little bit flabby. Maybe maybe the shorter theatrical cut is a little bit tighter. I've not watched that version yet. I thought the chemistry between Ken and what's his face?
Ken.
Oh Jesus Christ, what's her name?
Emily Blunt.
Emily Blunt. I thought they were funny. I thought that kind of worked together. An easy chemistry. Obviously, the stunt work and everything was great.
Yep.
But there was. It just felt a bit flabby. It wasn't quite as kind of propulsive and zipping through it as I was looking forward to, as I was hoping for. The big film of the year, we've already done an episode several months ago, so that was Wolverine and Deadpool. Have you watched it again? Since?
I have. I watched it digitally, and then I've recently, I've lent my copy out to a friend, but I've watched it at home, and it's no, I didn't feel it was as good at home the second, well, it would have been my third time, but I think that's just because I've seen everything I think that's in there to see.
Yes.
Did I enjoy it again? Sure. The opening credits are still just,
yeah,
pop your foot along, go, this is fucking hilarious. but it's not as good as seeing it for the first time for that shock and
exactly that
shock value.
That was exactly what I was going to say.
Although until you see the end sequence, and again, there's going to be some spoilers in this. One thing I might have said this in the episode, I can't remember now. How hairy Hugh Jackman's abs are. Once you've seen that, fucking hell. Honestly, wait till you go and watch that again. In your glorious television, you'll never ever unsee it.
No, I think you're right. I think it has limited rewatch value, or certainly it doesn't have the same impact. I mean, I guess no film does when you watched it more than once, but that first time watching it, all the cameos, all the jokes, etc. Second, third time round, it's like, oh yeah. Oh, that's still funny. That's still cool.
Have you seen? Because obviously they're still sort of like plumbing it a little bit for home media release and stuff. So Ryan's been sharing some behind the scenes stuff. And did you see the joke that Disney asked him specifically to take out?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
No,
I don't want to repeat it, but you can go Google it. It's very funny.
You can understand why. No, it's still a great film, but yeah, not
as rewatchable as you might have thought at the time.
Yeah. So another pretty successful sequel. Well, actually, let's go for this one instead. Terrifier 3, very successful.
My God,
very successful. Looking at the budget to box office. Go on then.
Have you seen it?
No. It's on my list.
Right.
I love the others. Don't get me wrong.
Well so far.
Absolutely will be seeing it, but just haven't yet.
I watched it again. Watched it digitally at home. Didn't get a chance to see it in the cinema. Also, probably not something I would have wanted to have gone to the cinema. It would have been one I went by myself. And I think, I don't know, the type of film is you might have got some freaks there.
Yeah.
So happy to watch it in the comfort of my own home. And it's what you expected from a third installment. It's
Sure.
not. It didn't feel as long as
Mm.
the second one. The second one felt long.
Yes. Yes.
Obviously, it's lovely and glossy with the new budget, as you said. It's got the splatter that you've come to expect.
Mm-hmm.
I did feel, again, this might just be because I'm desensitized to this nonsense, but I think I texted you afterwards watching it going, or I certainly texted my friend who'd seen it saying, I feel a bit let down by the marketing now because obviously they marketed it as this real shock value film. People being sick, people walking out. I can't. There's one particular scene you go, that's going on a little bit too long now, for my liking. And like the plot where they hint at a supernatural element. In this one, they sort of explore it a bit, and then for me, they sort of throw it away again.
Yeah.
It's well worth a watch.
Oh, absolutely. I think some of those
You've not bloody seen it.
I know. So much to watch. I think some of those reactions in terms of people fainting or walking out, or whatever. I think they were possibly people who'd not seen the others and weren't quite ready for it. I think if you've seen the others, there's probably not much else that's going to shock you, really.
I found the second one was more. I don't know if I'm using the term right. Visceral. I want to use the word visceral.
Yeah.
The bedroom scene in that one specifically was. Well, my friend said in number 2 he seemed like he was doing it with malice and doing it vindictively. This one, he was just a clown that went murdering. And at the time when I was reading it, I was like, oh yeah, he's just a bloke gone murdering.
Yeah.
There was a couple. There's a character in it that something happens to them, and he's absolutely fucking robbed of something. And when you watch it, you'll see it. But he's going to do a 4th one, and that'll be the end of it. I've enjoyed it, and watching. I forgot the names. It's David something or other, isn't it? The
plays the Art the Clown.
Yeah, seen some of the interviews after obviously he's now famous. He seems like such a nice, down to earth bloke.
Yes, yeah.
That's been lovely to see off the back of such a horrible, horrible character.
I think, I think fair play to the director. Is it Damien Leone, isn't it? I think fair play to him. I think he it started out as a short film, then they did the first very ultra low budget, and then obviously they've had a little bit more money each time. By all accounts, he turned down a much bigger budget for the third film in order to, just keep creative control and not tone
I hadn't
things
realised
down.
that. I know a load of studios said no chance.
Yeah. It still only cost $2 million, even if it's the largest of the 3 so far in terms of budget. But he did mention in one of the interviews around the time the film was released that he turned down more money.
Wow.
Because the studio or the financiers wanted to him to kind of make it a bit less intense, right?
Right.
But it's made on that $2 million budget worldwide. Like it's made almost $90 million.
It was. I was amazing for something so splatty,
which is incredible. It's incredible.
And it's a Christmas film, so perfect for
exactly.
Christmas Day, half your turkey, mass murder, job done.
So fantastic. No, I'm happy he's been able to keep control of it. I'm happy it's been getting more and more successful, largely through word of mouth.
Oh yeah.
And let's see what the 4th film is. If that's going to be the last one, fantastic. Go out, hopefully on a high. Let's see now what he does after this.
Yes.
I'd like to see either another original thing or, maybe if there's one of these existing franchises, perhaps do something like what they're doing with Evil Dead, where Sam Raimi and Bruce Campbell and Robert Tappert are kind of staying in control as producers, but they're kind of giving different directors the opportunity to make a story in that world. So it's just,
do you know what I'd like to see?
Go on.
Let's bring back the whole crossover versus universes.
Sure,
so obviously we did Alien versus Predator, Freddy versus Jason.
Yeah.
There's been some others in the past, isn't there?
What about Art the Clown versus It?
Well, I'm sure we'd have to wait 27 years, wouldn't we? I mean,
That's
fucking
true.
pointless. But also that's getting an HBO show. So,
That's true. That's true.
but Art the Clown versus they're still trying to reboot Friday the 13th again,
They
aren't they?
are.
In telly,
Art
some
versus
shit like that.
Jason. Yeah.
Or two silent ones, Art versus Michael Myers.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
Just a completely silent film.
As opposed to the famously chatty Jason Voorhees.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, you make a good point. Freddy's the only one with a big mouth, really, isn't he? Yeah.
But no, I'm looking forward to seeing what he does next. Anyway, whether it's another original or a franchise.
That Jason just won't shut up when he's murdering. Sorry. Anyway, moving on.
Alien Romulus.
Ah, what a film.
Go on then.
Went to see that one in the cinema.
Me too.
How did you watch it? Sat down, probably. But
Sat
how
down,
did
eyes open.
Where did you watch it? Well, what sort of screen?
On one of the fake IMAX screens, which was fine. Big screen, big sound.
Oh, the sound in it was phenomenal.
And packed cinema, which is encouraging to see.
So Fede Alvarez.
Yes.
Yep, directed it.
Yep. Directed Evil Dead 2013.
Great film. Did Diddley Scott produce this one?
He did. Yes, he did.
Got you there. Right. Did I enjoy it? Yes. Did I enjoy it rewatching it at home? Less so. I think. I mean, the disc has now arrived, so again, digitally tends to come out, so you try to watch it there.
Yep.
Would I want to watch it again? Yes, I would. There's parts of it that annoyed me. And we were going to do an episode on this, but commitments and couldn't be arsedness kicked in. The bit that I struggled with that film, first off, the effects were phenomenal for the most part. The story, it's Alien.
Yep.
Yeah, not much to go into there, is there?
Not really.
People find a ship. There's aliens. Ah, shit. The splatteriness, again, I think is bigged up too much in the marketing. And then when you get to it, you go, oh, is that it?
Yeah, I thought, just on that one, I thought Alien Covenant was more splattery.
Too right. I
loved that. I mean, I'm not
Covenant.
complaining. I thought Alien Covenant was more body horror.
Right. And they kept going on about, people on set were, disturbed by one of the scenes. And I finished the film with, which one? Like there was multiple. It was more there was nothing that really stood out that I went, oh, I get it. So, there's a chest burster scene, which is obviously synonymous with the Alien franchise.
Yep.
It didn't have the shock and the oh shit I expected.
No. As I said, I mean the Alien Covenant, the spine burster in Alien
was incredible.
Was that now? That's how to do a twist on a well-worn trope.
And the poor bugger that happened to, I felt sold it better.
Yep.
Than this poor girl in Romulus.
Yeah.
The scene when they're finding the face huggers for the first time, the embryos, that was fantastic.
Yeah, I think what Alvarez is really good at. I was expecting more in terms of the splatter, purely because of his Evil Dead is full on. I don't know if you've ever seen
sorry, I have seen it, but I'm getting it confused with Evil Dead Rises from last year, which
sure.
I shouldn't get confused because they're like 11 years apart. But the 2013 one I have seen, and good Christ.
So, I mean, that is. So I was expecting more in terms of the body horror kind of thing. But what he did get right is the atmosphere.
Do you think so?
I thought so. I thought the mood of it, the abandoned station and the kind of just general creepiness, and there's certain scenes of tension, like you say, that face hugger bit was really well done, and
the silence part where they have to go through, because did he do don't
breathe?
Thank you.
Breathe,
I was going to call it Don't Speak. That's a No Doubt song. Don't Breathe. He did that, didn't he? So I expected an element of quietness, and again, face huggers.
Yeah.
The bit that I felt that it fell foul of was it tried to be too many Alien films in one. So there's a sequence towards the end which is very Aliens.
Yep.
And by that, there's plural.
Yeah.
My brain at the end went, where the fuck did they come from? how the hell were they surviving all this time?
Mm.
And it goes very Aliens with the mist and the lasers and all that shite.
Yeah.
And then for me, the bit that I completely lost it at, and so did the cinema, it goes full on Alien Resurrection. Fuck it, we can do what we want now. We've kept you here for an hour and a half, 2 hours. Here's the thing.
It does, but I would say it does it better than Alien Resurrection.
Well, yeah, there's a lot less preamble to the thing, isn't it? Like,
Well, I just think the idea of this kind of hybrid creature is,
but it makes more sense in
is
Robin,
better.
if you ask me.
Yeah, is better done in this one. I think better done in terms of how it's explained, but also better done in terms of how it's physically realised.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Screen. I think
it's hilarious at first, and then it's terrifying.
And I think what I liked about it is, although it did try and kind of be too many Alien films. I know exactly what you mean.
I think that's a good way of looking at it, if
Yeah.
I do say so myself.
But I do like how it, although they kept saying, this is a sequel to Alien, and it's set between Alien and Aliens, and we're focusing on that aesthetic, and we want to continue, not that story, but we're picking up from that point. I like the fact that it actually directly referenced Prometheus.
Yeah, I know a lot of people like that.
And that whole injection that had the hybrid newborn thing was a direct result of David's experiments.
Yes.
So I like that, and the little bit of Prometheus music that came in and all that kind of thing.
I came out with more questions again. I don't like that about Alien films.
Yeah, I think if they're looking at a sequel, I would still like closure on the Prometheus Covenant bit, because obviously there is still a gap. But they must have, to have that goo on the station to work from and to develop and to genetically engineer it further, means they must have made contact with David.
Do you think so?
How else would they? Because he was the only one that had it.
Yeah, but they made a big point, and again, this is where I come to. I don't have closure, as you said. I have more questions. We last see David with his ship of embryos.
Mm-hmm.
So where the fuck is that gone?
Well, that's it. That's what I mean.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
They must have intercepted him or whatever between Covenant. He then tells them about the engineers, the ships, etc. That's how the company then know to find the crashed ship in the first film. Do you know what I mean? So there's this kind of there's a link somewhere between Covenant and Romulus.
Okay, I like that.
That kind of is a separate story, a side story to Alien, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. The only bit that I will say is that it massively disappointed me, and I'm not going to go into the special effects that didn't quite work, because so many people talked about that, and ultimately you look back, you go, is I felt that they, again, fell foul of showing the Xenomorph too much at times.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I felt like they weakened the Xenomorph by he wasn't just going out, or they weren't just going out killing.
Yeah.
When that poor lady gets taken away, it sort of stabs her and like yanks her back. It's like, well, you'd absolutely be dead. Also, she fell down too many stairs to keep a baby. As far as I'm, that was ridiculous.
Yeah.
And again, it wasn't as splattery as I have come to expect from both him and Alien. But what they did to Big Chap, they actually managed to catch and kill a thing. They're not meant to be. I don't know.
Well, that one that you see hanging in the lab is the one from the end of the first film.
Yes.
Because you can see the harpoon still sticking out of it.
Absolutely. So is that the one you see at the beginning of the film?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
It's kind of cocooned itself.
Which is cool.
Yep. I think, just very briefly touching on the effect that didn't work, I think that was... I completely got what they were going for by having another droid and having a bit of familiar face. We've had David and Walter. We've had two Michael Fassbender droids. I think I liked the idea of it being Ian Holm, but I think they should have either stuck with the puppet but had it more damaged, like they did with Bishop in Alien 3, because that was a puppet.
Which I haven't. You mentioned that a couple of weeks ago. I haven't seen Alien 3 for years. Guess what I'm watching over Christmas?
Well, obviously, Lance Henriksen is in it as the human. But, but the droid in it is a puppet, and it works really well because it's so badly damaged. It doesn't have to work perfectly. If it looks janky, of course it does, because it's fucked, right? So the Rook android, by having his face relatively unscathed, it had to work really well, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Whereas if it was burnt and melted away, they could have lost half the face. And if it looked crappy and stilted, that fits its condition.
Yeah, that fits the film. Yeah, I get you.
So I get what they're trying to do. I just think the execution wasn't great. The voice was like AI generated,
which you could kind of tell, but again, it had an effect on it that you could kind of go, "It's an android."
Yep. But again, he's got one of those voices that you'd love to hear that voice.
Oh yeah.
So even if it was AI generated, it was based on an actor's performance, but then tweaked. So even then, it's still nice to hear him.
Yeah.
And it looked better on where you see him on monitors.
Yep.
That looked much better. But anyway,
it's funny because talking of like the AI and the de-aging and doing a character, I was watching Dial of Destiny yesterday, the Indiana Jones film, and there's certain parts in that opening sequence where you go, not quite stuck the landing there, lads. And it is where he's really bright. He's really lit. Like, unfortunately, in Romulus, he was quite a bit.
But there's other bits of it where it looks incredible.
Oh yeah. There's times you go, bloody hell, they've actually done it. Yeah. Anyway, sorry, we've spent a lot of time talking about it, but it was good. I'm glad I've seen it. It was nice to have another Alien film that didn't suck.
They're developing a sequel.
Good.
Let's
the physicality of it was phenomenal.
Yeah.
More of that, please.
Yeah.
More of that.
Absolutely. Okay. More Ridley Scott related goodness. Gladiator 2.
Another sequel we didn't need. There's a few on this list.
There's a few.
Have we talked about anything original yet?
I don't think we have we?
No, we haven't.
Have you seen it? Have you seen it?
No.
Yeah. It was good. I enjoyed it. It was fine. It was mainly a sense of relief that they'd not messed it up.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Because as you say, it's one of those ones you don't need. It's 20 years from the first one. What are they going to do? What's the story? How are they going to link it to the first one?
Sharks.
Is Ridley Scott, for all his fucking genius and one of my favourite directors, is he really up to doing that kind of thing again? And I would say it's okay. It's enjoyable. It's not a bad film. The action scenes don't have the impact that the original had.
And that was going to be my question, because Gladiator is one of my favourite films. It was one of my dad's favourite films.
Yeah.
And I've got visions of us not long after having the surround sound when I was a kid, and that on my Command Unleash Hell, and they all come over the top. Hearing that in surround sound for the first time, you think, fucking hell. But again, the battle sequences there, just they stick with you.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. And the battle scenes were shot in a particular style, which they used on the opening beach scene in Saving Private Ryan as well.
Oh, so what, like proper point of view?
No, the way it's shot through the camera, basically technical, and I don't even pretend to understand it, but it's the angle of the shutter. So the film isn't as exposed for as long, which means you don't get that kind of motion blur on each frame.
Okay.
So you get a kind of watch it again and you'll know what I mean.
I need to watch it full stop.
But it has this kind of staccato kind of look to it, where each frame is like pin sharp. So it has this kind of real kind of crispiness.
Okay.
It's difficult to explain. There's YouTube
Yeah.
videos that'll show you, like, will give a breakdown of it. But for some reason, in the second one, they don't use that technique, so it doesn't have that kind of visual.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the second one. Sorry, mate.
Sorry, no. In the first one and in like Saving Private Ryan, they used this technique, so it had this kind of, like I say, this kind of really crisp staccato kind of image, rather than a motion blur on each frame.
Okay.
Whereas the sequel, they don't use that technique, so it doesn't. The battle sequences don't have that kind of visceral
Yeah.
look to them. The biggest weakness in it for me is Paul Mescal.
Seriously.
Seriously, I've not seen anything else he's been in, and by all accounts, he is a fantastic actor. I just don't think this was the role for him.
So I was having a look at his CV because I can't say anything straight out the bat that I've seen him in. And looking very quickly, no, I can't say I've seen anything.
When you compare him to Russell Crowe, it's a world apart. I don't even mean necessarily physically. I just think like in his just kind of presence. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
It just doesn't have that presence.
but I guess that's what they've gone for. I mean, I haven't seen it, so I don't know how it might be connected to the other one. But Russell, what was it say? 20 years ago, isn't it? Gladiator 1.
Yeah.
Russell's now what? 60?
50s at least. Yeah.
So he was older again doing it.
Yeah.
I get where you're coming from, and I think then they must have, they've lent on supporting cast for the Hollywood A-list. Pedro Pascal.
And the supporting cast is fantastic.
Oh, you got Denzel, man.
Denzel is brilliant. I think I would have gone down a different route with his character.
Okay.
To have a
right. So what I've read,
yeah,
I think it's heavily implied that he is, I forgot, Maximus's son.
Oh, the Paul Mescal character, not Denzel. Yes.
Funny that.
He is.
Okay.
Yeah.
I had a feeling.
Yeah.
Rotten luck. That's all I'll say for that one. Yeah, I'm a father of a. Hang on a minute.
Well, in the first film, it is implied that he might be Maximus's son.
Sorry, I'm just remembering the father of the murdered son. Clearly not.
Because he's got another son and a wife.
What? He never goes on about the other son.
We know, exactly.
Oh, bloody hell.
It is implied in the first film that he's also Lucius's dad. And this kind of confirms that, basically. I mean, that's not a spoiler.
No. I've completely forgotten about the first one. Anyway.
In terms of Denzel Washington's character, he's fantastic in it. I think, personally, I would have gone down a different route and had his character be one that is more explicitly linked to the first film.
Okay.
And as good as Denzel Washington is, I would have had a different actor.
Okay. Yeah.
And when you've seen it, we'll talk more about that.
Yeah.
But it's fun. It's what you want. It's big budget, spectacle, action, some great performances.
Sharks.
Sure. Yeah.
All right.
Nothing not to like.
Is there a Gladiator 3 is in the works? Is there a date yet on physical release?
No, I'm going to guess February, March time.
Okay, cool.
So there were some flops as well. We'll come back to a couple more successful ones, but there were some fortunate and some unfortunate flops.
Let's just knock off the one that I don't think either of us has seen, but
Yeah.
it did shit.
Yeah.
The Crow remake.
Yeah. Fuck
And
that.
I remember kept seeing the trailer for it, and I saw the trailer for it for Romulus. People were laughing in the cinema.
Yeah. I don't have any issue in principle with a remake or a sequel or a reboot or whatever, right? If there's an interesting story, by all means go for it. They're making another version of American Psycho, right?
Right.
And that's not a remake of the film, it's another adaptation of the original novel. Brilliant.
Fine. Nothing new there.
The first film exists, that's not going away. Let's
And
have another
the
crack.
sequel.
And
With
we
Mila
don't talk
Kunis.
about the sequel. But it's there. Let's do another version of the novel, update it for modern times, etc., etc. Cool. Just go wild. And again, the same applies to The Crow. You know, it's based on a comic book. Let's do another adaptation of the comic book. Fine. I think the problem with The Crow is a unique situation where the circumstances around the making of the original gave that film a tone and a mood that, had Brandon Lee not have died, it wouldn't have had that mood.
Yeah, I get that.
Because watching it, knowing that he died, you bring something else to it as a viewer.
I get you.
Do you know what I mean? That isn't something they could have manufactured if he'd have been alive, doing the interviews, doing the sequels, and all that kind of thing.
It's a bit like, it sounds terrible, it's a bit like The Dark Knight, though, isn't it, to a point?
It is.
Whilst that was also an excellent film, it carried that...
The weight.
Yeah, really, really good way of putting it.
They carried the baggage of it. There's a melancholy tone.
Excellent way of putting it, Mark.
To that film that if he was alive still, it just wouldn't have had. And I think no matter how, I mean, I've not seen this version, and by all accounts, it's pretty bad. But it's a thankless task, I think, for anyone. And there've been countless attempts over the years to do there's been sequels, and there's been countless attempts to do the remakes. And there's something about that first film that you can't
bottle, can't
bottle it. You can't create that on purpose.
I get you.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just such a sad film.
It should have been left.
It should. And they've learnt the lesson because they tried and it flopped. So they kind of, they learnt the lesson. Talking of films that should have been left, Joker 2.
Still yet to see it.
Electric
and I
Boogaloo.
didn't go and see it because of the write-ups.
Yeah, I just know. The first one was fine. It was okay. But the second one, just nothing about it.
It's funny you mentioned about the first one being fine. I remember watching it at home, going, and it stuck with me for a little bit. Because it was like, oh. And it was definitely one of those, you only watch that once for a very long time.
Yeah.
But yeah. I'm not bothered about seeing the second one in a hurry.
No, I've no intention of watching it. No. An undeserved flop. Furiosa, a Mad Max saga.
Okay.
Have you seen it?
Nope. I still haven't seen Mad Max.
Okay.
Still.
Really, really good film, and it's such a shame. And I don't get why it flopped.
Again, I think it's a case of a prequel that we didn't need.
We didn't need it, but it's not
Again,
that's true.
It's an epic type thing. Though,
That's true.
You know,
we didn't need it, but it's quite a different style to Fury Road. It's obviously the action's there, but the storytelling is slightly kind of different. It's like broken into chapters kind of thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's great. It really did deserve to do better. It's such a shame it didn't do better. Um, and also Monkey Man,
Dev Patel,
Dev Patel.
great actor.
What a film!
Okay.
What a film! Little low budget film. His story. He directed it. I think it was originally set for Netflix. They kind of wanted to drop it or wanted changes made or something. They offered him the chance to take it somewhere else. Jordan Peele picked it up from through his production company, and then it was released through Universal, where Jordan Peele has his deal. And again, it just didn't take off, and it's such a shame because it's a proper. If you like John Wick, if you like that kind of, out for revenge kind of hard action, there's some proper bruising fight work in it, and he's phenomenal in it physically in terms of like the action and stuff. Just a great couple of hours. Just
Okay.
really, really good.
That's worth knowing. I like Dev Patel, so
Yeah. Have you seen Rebel Ridge?
no. What's that?
It's a Netflix film with Aaron Pierre. Guy basically arrives in a small town to bail his brother out, who's got himself
Sorry,
into trouble.
what did you say his name was?
Aaron Pierre.
I thought he said Guy Pierre for some reason. Sorry. Don't know that
So
is.
he's actually a British actor, but playing American in this. He arrives in a small town in America to bail his brother out, who's got himself in trouble. He's got like $10,000 whatever bail money in his bag with him in cash. Gets pulled over by the police. They're immediately suspicious. Where's that money from? They confiscate his money.
Right.
All he wants is his money back.
Oh, so
And
no more.
they've fucked with the wrong guy, kind of thing.
Like John Wick all over again.
But it's not like this ridiculous level one-man army kind of thing. There's action in it, which is brilliantly done, but it's not over the top. It's more that he doesn't go on like a one-man wrecking crew mission. He goes on a one-man, I'm going to be a pain in the arse mission, in terms of like just making their lives fucking miserable for the week that he's there, kind of thing.
Cool. Okay.
Just winding them up, getting in the way. Obviously, there's action, and it does kind of pick up, and there's a shootout here and a fist fight there, but it's very kind of subdued, understated, really well done. Just a great little thriller.
I'll give that a go.
Yeah, it's well worth checking out. Civil War.
See, talking of an original film.
Oh, have you seen it?
Yeah.
Oh, what
So
a
Alex
film.
Garland wrote
Alex
and
Garland.
directed it.
Yep.
I loved it.
I absolutely loved it. Just phenomenal.
Sorry, I'm going to redact that. I really enjoyed it. I didn't love it.
Oh, I loved it.
And again, I think I went in with it with that high expectation. And what it did well was that harrowing, again, talking about mood,
Yeah.
capturing the mood of what was going on in the world at that time.
Yep.
And that sort of bleak, this could happen
Yep.
vibe.
Yeah.
And I like, the progression of the young reporter, journalist, photographer at the beginning, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed at the end.
Callie Spaney from Alien Romulus.
Is it bollocks? Is it?
Yeah.
I never knew that.
Same girl. Yep, she was great. I thought Kirsten Dunst was phenomenal.
I mean, she's a good actress anyway.
She
like
is
that.
so good.
Oh, I can see it now. Yeah, I can see the resemblance of that same actress in She-Hulk.
Funny that, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm making the connection now.
What I liked, I thought it was great. You're right. It captured the mood of like this. This is not science fiction.
This isn't too far away.
It's like almost fucking documentary, right? I love the camera work. It was all close up, that kind of verite feel to it. Yeah, Kirsten Dunst. I loved the fact that whoever's to thank for this, whether it's her as a performer or Garland as the director, but she's playing her age in a non-glamorous kind of way.
Yeah, not very Hollywood, is it?
No, because obviously we've seen her since she was what, 11, 12 in Interview with a Vampire. Um, and then obviously through the Spider-Man movies.
Small Soldiers. Thank you very
Small
much.
Soldiers,
Make sure
sorry,
that
yeah,
gets a mention.
absolutely. Small Soldiers, fantastic film. But then she's kind of, I mean, I'm sure she's been working, but I think in terms of limelight, she's kind of maybe been out of the limelight for a good 20 years.
Yeah.
And yet she comes back and it's like, oh, she's like, and without wishing to be shallow, she's still smoking hot, right? But she's back and she's aged well, but she's not like glammed up. She's not. She's just very natural looking, and a great performance. That just kind of world weary. Oh, I'm dragging this kid along, and she ain't got a clue what the world's like, and I'm trying to tell her she's never gonna fucking learn.
And her real life husband plays a racist in it.
Yes, yes, yeah. Jesse Plemons is. I mean, he's only in it for what, 5 or 10 minutes, but bloody hell,
What a role he has,
what a
because it's
performance!
scary.
He is fantastic in anything.
But what I liked about it is he was a replacement.
Was he?
I believe so. I believe he was a last minute replacement,
Oh wow.
and I think she gave him the suggested Jessica.
Yeah.
But the bit that always threw me, I one forgot they were married.
Mm.
Two, forget how young he is.
Yeah.
But what shape he's in now? He's lost a lot of weight, bless him.
Yes. Yeah.
However he's done it. But
Oh,
yes,
they were together, weren't they, in Fargo a couple of years ago?
that's right.
They were in one of the seasons of Fargo. They played a husband and wife, and I think that's where they met.
Because he's 36.
Right.
Then again, how old is Kirsten?
She's got to be in her 40s, I guess.
42.
Yeah. So okay. She's got herself a toy boy. But they met on Fargo, and they're married after that. Yeah.
Oh.
But no, I just thought it was a great film. The whole, as you said, the tone of it, the kind of this could happen, and even at the end where obviously it picks up, the action picks up again. It's done. You're there on the ground,
Yeah.
in the middle of it all, kind of thing. You're really kind of into it. I thought it was great.
Bonus Nick Offerman. Let's move on.
Always worth a bonus, Nick Offerman. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes.
Wasn't bothered about seeing it. Full stop.
Okay.
Reason being, I enjoyed the remake 3.
Yep.
And kind of went, I'm done with that.
Yeah, absolutely. I was wary of it, but actually I was pleasantly surprised that it turned out as good as it did. Apparently, there's another one being planned.
There's a surprise.
They have another trilogy mapped out.
Oh, brilliant.
I mean, again, they didn't fuck it up.
That's all I need to hear, really.
Do you know what I mean? And I think, as you say, when there's already been such a fantastic trilogy, that's the best you can hope for, is that they didn't fuck another one up. So I'm more than happy to see what they come up with next.
You're happy to recommend it is the important thing.
Oh, absolutely, yeah, absolutely. Beetlejuice.
Don't say it again. It's done well. I've put it on the list. I'm yet to see it.
Yeah. Okay.
I have a copy of it down. I say a copy, an actual physical copy of it downstairs.
Yep.
Which I'm planning to watch incredibly shortly.
Yep.
A sequel we didn't necessarily need, I believe, because there's always been an idea, and it was shelved. Production hell, you call it, for a while.
Yep.
A lot of production limbo. Again, it had to be that sort of like perfect storm of Michael wouldn't do it without Tim. Tim wouldn't do it without Michael and Winona. And I hate to say it, Catherine O'Hara probably didn't get a look in, but with her resurgence in recent years because of Schitt's Creek, I believe it's great to see them.
Yes.
The only thing I've got against that film is Jenna Ortega needs to sort of like be cast in something completely different now.
Yeah.
Stop being the creepy girl and go do something fun. Because I'm a bit fed up of seeing her everywhere at the moment.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I mean, I like her. She's good, but you're right. She needs to do something a bit different.
But I'm looking forward to seeing it. It's one of my all-time favourite films. So the sequel is meant to be quite good.
I would say it is quite good. Michael Keaton's having a blast.
As you could expect.
Catherine O'Hara's brilliant in it. Winona Ryder's good again. Jenna Ortega's good, but again, getting a bit samey in terms of the type of characters.
Ooh, I'm a moody teen. Ooh.
Yeah,
Ooh.
yeah. I would say again, they didn't fuck it up.
Fine. You can't call the episode that, but
No. Shall we move on to TV?
let's rattle through some TV quickly.
Go on then.
So a bunch of different things from. I mean, most of this stuff is probably streaming, isn't it? That we talk
I
about.
believe it is actually, yeah.
I mean, I'm watching 24 Hours in Police Custody at the moment.
Oh, I
Channel 4.
love that show.
It's fucking scary, but
I
bloody hell.
love that program. It is I'm not much into the kind of fly on the wall true crime stuff.
I'm not.
But that does it really well because it's not sensationalizing it.
Nope.
It is very much procedural. We've got a limited amount of time to find as much evidence as we can. It's brilliant. It really is brilliant.
Like you said, doesn't glamorize it. It doesn't
No.
sugarcoat the officers either when they do things wrong.
Yes.
So I was watching one. Was it Murder on Prescription? It's called. I can't remember if that's one of the newest ones or I've gone back through.
It is. No, it's quite a recent one. That one.
That's it. And they arrested 4 different people.
Yeah.
Bless them. Weren't involved.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it is shit scary telly.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a BBC show. I think it's called something like The Forensics, which is a similar kind of thing where it follows a forensics team from one of the police forces. Again, as the name suggests, they go into the scene of the crime and try and work out what they can. That's fascinating as well.
I do like that stuff.
And there's another Channel 4 one. I think it's like a digital forensics team,
right?
Who look at like CCTV, phone evidence, email trails and all that kind of thing as well. But yeah, 24 Hours in Police Custody is phenomenal.
Okay,
go on then.
I'm going to rattle through some of my favourites from Netflix for this year.
Yeah, go for it.
So I'm going to start with, was it beginning of the year this might come out? Baby Reindeer.
Okay.
The story of a real story as well, of a Scottish comedian gets stalked basically. Have you seen it?
I haven't.
Okay.
It's not really my thing.
That's okay. I mean, I get that.
I've heard good things.
It was difficult to watch in places. It was also frustrating learning some of the things learning about certain characters in it, and then the real life characters then talking about it outside of the show.
Yeah.
Some of the revelations that you think, just fucking do something about that evil bastard that's in production.
Yeah.
And also then giving Piers Morgan however many fucking million views, having the real woman on it.
Yeah.
It was like, it just turned into this big circus, and it kind of, for me, took away from this very short, limited series, true story.
Yeah.
Yeah, one you won't watch again kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah. I've heard great things about it.
Great performances is the point.
I mean, the person who kind of complained that they'd been made to look or been misrepresented didn't do themselves any favours.
It's funny that, isn't it? It's usually how it happens.
But no, fair play. Yeah. I hope it wins awards and kind of. I hope everyone kind of goes on to do other things. Go on then. What else on Netflix?
So one thing that you can't watch and see how it progresses further.
Yes.
Chaos.
Yes.
Have you seen that?
I watched a couple.
Okay.
I enjoyed it.
Went on a bit long.
Yeah. I enjoyed it.
Again, big cast.
Yes.
British.
Yeah.
British made. Built a lot in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Built a lot of the story, and then Netflix went, nah.
That'll do.
Bollocks to it.
Yeah, that's a shame.
Fucking sideways, as you've said. I'm gutted I can't watch it anymore because it gets really good, and then the rug gets taken away from you.
Well, it's that thing, isn't it? And it's been one of the criticisms of the streamers that have done this is it's kind of self-defeating, because knowing now that there isn't going to be a season 2, am I that bothered about watching season 1 if I know that any loose ends aren't going to be?
Well, exactly.
Up? I don't know how it ends. I don't know whether there are any cliffhangers or what, but why am I even bothered about finding out?
I know, right?
So that's a shame. That's a shame. Star Wars. So there's been 2 shows this year, I think. There's The Acolyte, which again, talking of being cancelled, was cancelled after 1 season, which was a real shame because I really enjoyed that show. And then the latest one that's just started is The Skellington Crew, which is more kind of...
I thought you misspoke that then, but I remember seeing it. It's written like that, isn't it?
No, it's Skeleton Crew.
Oh, you just been a prick.
Yeah.
All right. There's me ready to jump into your defence. Fuck them.
Yep. Which kind of is almost like a Star Wars crossed with Goonies.
I've got no interest.
It's honestly fun. It is fun. It is fun. And people there was some criticism before it even fucking started by the usual twats going, oh, it's just some stupid kids show. It's like, the first Star Wars film is a kids film. Do you know what I mean? Don't complain that a Star Wars show is a kids show.
I've got no interest at
That's
all.
fine. That's fine. That's fine. But both of those, very enjoyable.
Good.
Marvel.
Yeah. Hang on. What are we looking at? Oh yeah.
Agatha.
I begrudgingly sat through it.
Oh. And what did you think when you got to the end?
Oh look, the thing we knew. The last episode was phenomenal.
Mm.
Big ol' bitch witch battles. I don't know. It's a spin-off of a spin-off.
Yep.
And if I had to hear that song one more fucking time, it's like hearing Baby Shark for however many months.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I hated it. Absolutely hated it.
Right.
I didn't want to finish it,
Right.
but I knew it was building to something worth seeing, if that makes sense. And
Sure.
yeah.
Okay. I enjoyed it. I thought it was fine for what it was. It probably could have been a little bit shorter in terms of the number of episodes. But it was fine. It's one of those ones where I don't think you're missing out by not seeing it in terms of the overall MCU-ness of it.
Completely. Deadpool's the same, if you ask me.
Yeah, it probably is for the most part. So it was fine. It was fine. It was enjoyable enough. It's not the worst thing they've made.
No, let's not go into that.
So, couple of Apple TV Plus shows. I don't know if you have Apple TV Plus.
Not at the moment. One that's on the list here, Silo. I'm waiting till January to get Apple TV Plus together for Mythic Quest and things like that.
Of course, Mythic Quest. Well, when you do get it, I really, really recommend Shrinking.
Yes, but that's one of the other reasons.
It's one that I never watched season 1, heard good things about it, then season 2 came along and heard better things. So I thought, do you know what, I'm going to motor through this.
So
and they're all
Harrison Ford and
Harrison Ford.
What's his name? Marshall from How I Met Your Mother.
Yeah.
It's in there. It's in there. If only we had the internet. Oh shit! What's his name? Just
I bloody know it as well.
Jason
Segel.
Thank you.
Who some listeners may remember from Freaks and Geeks.
That's going back a bit.
Yeah.
Or forgetting Sarah Marshall.
Let's forget Sarah Marshall.
And other things we're not allowed to watch anymore.
But no, it's really good. It's really good. Show about a psychiatrist or therapist who lost his wife in a car accident, still coming to terms with that, and just kind of doesn't have a breakdown, but he just gets to the point where he's sick of his clients just endlessly feeling sorry for themselves but never being willing to actually do anything about it to help themselves.
Got you.
And he just kind of grabs them and like metaphorically shakes them and like, you're the only one who can fix this, let's go and fucking fix it, kind of things. Like, you don't like your husband, he keeps beating you up, fucking leave him then. Go on, just fucking leave him. That kind of thing. And obviously, and then over time, it starts to work, and his clients start to help themselves, and he discovers himself again, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And on paper, it sounds a bit, but it's got just the right kind of cynical tone. Harrison Ford, I think, is the best thing he's ever done.
Really?
Just in terms of he's playing an older therapist, the guy's colleague stroke boss, who kind of runs the overall practice. He himself has Parkinson's, so he's kind of coming to terms with his age and potentially, physical and mental decline and all that kind of thing. And he's kind of this grumpy, grouchy, sarcastic.
Sorry, you're talking about Harrison Ford or the character?
I was literally about to say, it's just how you know how you get that Harrison Ford in interviews where he just clearly doesn't fucking want to be there.
Yeah.
He's like that, but with a script. He's brilliant. He honestly was a revelation. He has got such a knack for comedy.
Brilliant.
Absolutely well worth watching. And you mentioned Silo. Season 2 is kind of halfway through at the minute. Really good. Season 1 was fantastic. This is kind of obviously expanding on the world and kind of the more of the backstory and all that kind of thing. Interested to see where that goes. I've never read the books, so I don't know what's in store. Brilliant. Well worth watching again.
Okay.
House of the Dragon. Have you been watching House of the Dragon?
Do you know we watched the first 2, and I lost all interest.
Oh, okay.
I don't know why, because I really enjoyed the first one. I'd be honest, I completely forgot that was this year.
Yeah. I don't think season 2 was as good as season 1. It did feel a bit more of a slog. I think if you were to binge it, it would probably work better because obviously you don't have a week to wait between each episode.
Sure.
But I thought it was all right. Now you've got one on here and Man on the Inside. Have you seen that one?
Yes, finished it in a weekend. Last weekend, I think it was.
Oh wow, okay. I haven't, so tell me more.
So it's by is it
Michael Schur.
Yeah, I was going to say Dan Gore, but that's
Dan
still...
Schur. Dan Schur, isn't it?
No, it's Michael Schur.
Is it?
I'm gonna get this right. Hang on, fact check.
The guy who did the
Brooklyn Nine-Nine and A Good Place.
That's the one.
Whoever that is. Anyway,
yeah.
Let's get that out.
Michael Schur. Yeah, sorry.
Starring Ted Danson.
Yep.
Again, lost his wife.
Yep.
Doesn't have a great relationship with his daughter.
Yep.
Gets an opportunity to become an informant/spy.
Yep.
For a private investigator. An old folks' home. Hilarity ensues. It's quite funny. It's full of heart. And it's Ted Danson. I mean, I loved The Good Place.
Oh, I did love that. Yeah.
Again, that got a bit samey at times, but this was nice to see him. It was nice to see some other returning actors from the same sort of stuff.
Yeah.
It's just a good watch. It's it's not too painful to sit through. It's quite easy to just pick up and put back down.
So very much like Brooklyn Nine-Nine and The Good Place.
Yeah, just without the quick laughs.
Gotcha. Okay, a little
but
bit more.
It's a bit more serious.
Oh right, okay.
But it's got funny bits.
Yeah.
But ultimately, it's a story about an old folks' home and the, some of the not nastiness, but ailments that come with being an old folks' home and that sort of story. But it's good fun.
All right.
Cool. It looks like there could be a second as well.
Okay.
Based on how it ends, you think, oh, okay.
Okay. Well, hopefully it won't get cancelled.
Sure.
Okay. Tell me about the penguin.
They are small, flightless birds that live in cold environments and zoos.
You're funny.
I do try.
Have you watched it?
Of course I bloody haven't.
Oh, you haven't? Why did you put it on the list?
Did I?
Yeah.
Fact check. Did I actually?
Yeah.
I'm calling nonsense on that.
Well, I call shenanigans on your nonsense.
Hang on.
But you did.
Oh, I did indeed.
Yeah, thank you.
I only put it in there because you didn't fucking stop talking about it.
Well, I'll be honest. I only watched the first 2 or 3 episodes.
You didn't make it out like that.
Not because it's no good. I fucking loved it, but again, just so much else going on. I will be watching it.
Just
Spin
wasn't
off
interested.
from the Batman. Colin Farrell again, unrecognisable. Incredible performance, incredible makeup. I mean, it's some of them probably the most realistic looking prosthetics I've
Cool.
ever seen. And it's very kind of street level rise of a crime lord kind of gang story. If it wasn't the Penguin, it would just be a really interesting standalone story about a guy trying to work his way up through a crime organisation.
Gotcha.
Really good. One that's just finished this week on Sky in the UK, Peacock everywhere else, The Day of the Jackal.
So I've seen good things about this.
Oh, just phenomenal. I've never seen the other film versions. I've never read the book, so I knew really nothing about it going in. Just incredible. Fantastic. I mean, I've kind of read some criticism that it's a bit slow going. Maybe a little bit. Maybe it could have been done with, one or two episodes shorter. But some of this kind of action set pieces, fantastic, like tension. You know what I mean?
Yeah, cool.
It's really well shot. Great soundtrack selection of songs on the soundtrack. And there's going to be a season 2. Eddie Redmayne and Lashana Lynch, fantastic in it, brilliant, really, really good. And I've just put on a late edition for Netflix's Black Doves.
I've seen it advertised today, in fairness.
Oh, really good. I blasted through that last weekend. Really good. It's a UK show about a non-government spy organisation, like a freelance spy organisation, who sell the secrets to the highest bidder. One of the agents is undercover as the wife of a government minister. Someone she's involved with is killed, and so she goes out on a kind of personal mission to find out what happened to them.
Okay.
She's played by Keira Knightley, who I cannot stand, but she's
You're
absolutely...
not?
Oh, don't like... Her face does something funny when she smiles. But in this,
Well, she emotes and you don't like
there's
that?
something about this face that she pulls when she smiles. I can't describe it. But
Do you hate all women, Mark?
No, I don't. I honestly don't. I told you, Kirsten Dunst is smoking hot.
Right? Balanced, aren't you?
Yeah, you're very balanced. But there's something her face does when she smiles. Look it up. Look on Google. Keira Knightley smiling. Anyway, she's very good in this.
But not when she smiles.
Until she smiles.
Okay.
She does it a lot in the first episode, and I don't know whether it's her natural smile or whether it's a character thing where it's like a fake smile.
Yeah, sure.
As the character, but it's like, anyway, in this, she's really good in this, right? And Sarah Lancashire's in it as a boss. She's fantastic. What's his name from his Q in the Bond films and his Paddington? Ben Whishaw. He is brilliant in it. He plays like a hitman. And he is fantastic. So I highly recommend Black Doves.
Okay, thank you.
Music-wise...
this won't take long.
Go for it. This is all yours.
Literally, it's the only music I tend to listen to is rock.
Yep.
But a couple of highlights for me personally for music this year. Green Day came back with a #1 album, because it's Green Day, of course it is, called Saviors. And they did a subsequent tour, which I managed to catch them on at Wembley, which was fucking amazing. But it was a Ducky American Idiot tour rather than a Saviors tour.
Okay.
Which was great, because I got to see two of my favourite albums in full. And American Idiot being my favourite album of all time. Seeing that in full, magical. Saviors, good. It was a good Green Day album. It certainly was one of the albums that came out this year. Was it great? I think it was. I also think it's the first album that they've done out of their old record deal.
Right.
I don't know too much about it, so I'll try not to make shit up, but I believe that's the case anyway, and it's a good album. It's a Green Day album.
Okay.
Cool. So looking at bands that, again, I happened to have seen / news-wise, Sum 41 are calling it a day. They did their final album and final UK tour, and I saw them on their final date. They're going out on a high, and I don't like seeing that. They're literally calling it a day in January with the Canada shows, and they were the tightest I've ever seen them. And they just blow so many bands out of the water. Pardon me, being around a band for about 30 odd years, selling out arenas in the UK and across the world. I understand why they're calling it a day. The album, Heaven and Hell, it's okay, but point being, music this year, gutted they're calling it a day, but they did a great tour to see them out.
Okay.
Controversial one. Linkin Park have returned.
Why is that controversial?
Because I take it you don't know much about Linkin Park.
No, not really.
Okay. So Linkin Park had a vocalist called Chester Bennington, who sadly passed away a number of years ago.
Right.
They then went on a indefinite hiatus. They have returned with a new singer, and diehard Linkin Park. I'm going to say diehard Linkin Park fans. I'm going to say some melty Linkin Park fans have a problem with that, because Chester Bennington was apparently Linkin Park.
I see.
He wasn't. He came on after the band had already formed, but he was a pinnacle part of the band. Fair enough. Look at AC/DC. Look at other bands like I've got blank, Metallica.
Yeah.
All got different members in them now. People still love them. What people didn't like about this particular Emily Armstrong is her name. She had ties to Scientology and a really.
Oh, I do recall reading about that. Yeah.
She at one point signed a public letter supporting a really nasty man.
The Danny Masterson.
Thank you very much. That's the bastard.
Yeah.
And the way I look at it is, yes, that's terrible. It's also a fucking cult, which probably meant she was brainwashed.
Well, there is that as well.
Secondly, Linkin Park they're selling out arenas and stadiums around the world. They would have done their due diligence.
You would have thought so.
I'd like to think so. Anyway, they put out an album called From Zero.
Right.
It's a Linkin Park album. I don't have massive love for old Linkin Park.
Right, okay.
Purely because it was a bit old for me when I was growing up.
Yeah.
But I can appreciate it. It's a good album. It sounds like Linkin Park. I don't know what more you want from that.
Yeah.
Doing a big UK, doing a date in Wembley next year. But yeah, it's an album. It was nice to hear some decent new metal. Not as in like physically it's new, but the genre new metal. It was great.
Okay.
And I'm going to end this with Dirty Dave.
Okay.
Dave Grohl got caught, didn't he?
Oh, he did. Yeah. Okay.
And I just find that really funny because it's absolutely tanked the Foo Fighters for the next 2 years. They had so it all broke that he cheated on his wife and fathered a child, which again, rock and roll, man.
Yeah.
Fair enough. He did a statement. I'm going to go try and do right by this my daughter. Again, I think he did the right thing. Okay. What went wrong is that they cancelled their only remaining date of 2024, which was a festival.
Oh, okay.
And I think that's a really shitty thing to do. Because he could have come out and gone, yeah, I've done wrong. I've been caught. But here's rock and roll. This is why we're here. This is the rock music you've paid to see. No, cancelled the show.
Okay.
I did see them this year and they were fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
But they've also then cancelled the unannounced dates for next year. Whether that's Dave saying, I'm being a father.
Mm.
And if it is, brilliant. Good for him. If it's, I can't be dealing with the press because of what I've done, don't do the crime if you can't do the time. They were very quick to do this big memorial for Taylor Hawkins, which was still the right thing to do. I'm not condemning that. But he was very quick to come out to do Death of My Best Friend, which he's done twice in his life, don't forget.
Mm.
Big shows, raise a load of money, brilliant.
Yeah.
I've got another daughter by an illegitimate daughter. Oh no, I can't possibly do concerts. It doesn't wash with me.
Yeah, no, I get that.
It feels wrong. It doesn't feel like Dave. But whatever. It's I've personally found it quite funny.
Well,
Where do you stand on infidelity, Mark?
I mean, the fans have got short memories.
Of course they do.
None of this is going to have any long-term effect, right? So I'm sure he'll be fine, and I'm sure his bank balance will be fine, and I'm sure a cancelled date isn't going to be the end of his career, is it? Really?
Of course it isn't. Of course it isn't.
But
Yeah. But that's the end of 2024,
That's the
isn't
end
it?
of 2024. So let's have a very quick look forward to next year, because there's a few hopefully good things coming our way next year.
Well, first off, I'm going to start right at the beginning, which is January.
Yeah, go for it.
Bloody Nosferatu, man.
Oh, yeah.
It looks brilliant.
It does, doesn't it? I love Robert Eggers. I remember going to see The Witch when that first came out,
Oh, yeah.
not knowing really anything about it, and just being fucking blown away. Absolutely blown away. And he hasn't let us down yet. The trailer for Nosferatu looks phenomenal. And the reviews have all been positive.
That's good. I've not seen it yet.
Cool. So, yeah, very much looking forward to that one.
Anything else looking forward to, particularly next year?
So, from Marvel, after one film this year, we've got 3 coming next year. There's Captain America Brave New World, which looks all right, looks good.
Yes.
Thunderbolts, which looks like a lot of fun.
I'm yet to see those 2 trailers, in fact.
Oh, it looks great. It does look a lot of fun. And Fantastic Four, we haven't seen anything of that yet, but all signs so far are positive.
Well, bringing back Robert Downey Jr. to wash over the Kang.
Well, there is that. Yeah, that's going to be we'll see what 2026 brings from that one. And we've also got.
Sorry, because he's not going to be.
Well, it might be in Fantastic Four.
I just remembered. Yes,
there are rumours. Obviously, Doctor Doom is a Fantastic Four character, so he may well appear in that one. And TV-wise, Daredevil.
Oh yeah.
Which I'd forgotten about until just
Born
now.
Again.
Born Again, yeah, which looks good. Star Wars Andor Season 2.
Better watch Series 1 then, shouldn't I?
Oh, come on. Rogue One and Andor, I think, are probably the best things to come out of Star Wars. So I'm very much looking forward to Season 2.
Best thing to come out of Star Wars is I hate sand, and please don't tell me otherwise. Thank you very much. I hate sand. No. I rephrase. The best thing to come out of Star Wars is Jar Jar Binks.
Oh my god! Okay.
Bit of comic relief.
Okay. I am not precious about Star Wars in any way whatsoever. I am not one of these fucking fanboy idiots. But I do draw the line at praising Jar Jar Binks. More alien goodness next year with a TV show.
Yeah, boy.
Alien Earth.
It does look good.
It does look good. Set before Alien. I can't recall whether it's set in relation to Prometheus and Covenant. But that's
there are xenomorphs in it. So
there are. So there's got to be some link somewhere, hopefully explained. By Noah Hawley, who did Fargo, which is great. So looking forward to that one. The big DC movie, Superman.
The first one under James Gunn's command.
Yeah. So that one has got a lot to prove, I guess, to set the tone and hopefully, I guess, put things right after the last couple of years of shitness. Look, it's James Gunn. I like his stuff. I think if anyone can do it, he's probably the person who's best placed to do so.
Okay.
Mission Impossible: Final Reckoning.
Is this the last one?
It's apparently the last one with Tom Cruise.
Ooh.
Whether it's the last one, I guess, depends on box office.
Fair enough.
I thought Dead Reckoning was incredible.
And we can move on. Let's go.
Oh, wow.
No.
28 years later.
I mean, you can talk about Dead Reckoning if you want, but
I just thought Dead Reckoning was fantastic, and I can't wait to see this one.
I'm looking forward to it. Didn't rate Dead Reckoning as much as you did.
Okay. That's all right. You can be wrong. It's okay.
I know.
28 years later,
Yeah,
trailer looks phenomenal.
I must really get through 28 days.
Have you
There.
never watched it?
No, it's one of those films. I start watching, I end up doing something, like being distracted and doing stuff. And I started watching it the other week.
Yeah. Okay.
I didn't get that far into it.
Right.
But
Okay.
it's one of those films that I've always. I like Danny Boyle.
Yeah.
Again, it's a bit of a cult film.
Mm.
Again, the way it's been shot, the way it's been made, and
Yeah.
this one looks. Oh, the trailer just sent shivers.
Yeah. Just phenomenal. Absolutely.
Shot on an iPhone with a few extras.
With a few £1,000 worth of lenses. Yeah. No, I am looking forward to it.
When's it out?
Next May, I think. I mean, to be fair, I get why they played up the iPhone-ness of it, because the first film was shot on very early digital video cameras.
It's out in June, FYI.
Yeah, okay. So the first film was shot on standard definition digital video, which at the time was the latest thing. So, and it gave the first film that kind of immediacy and that kind of in the thick of it kind of feel.
Right, okay.
So I guess going down the iPhone route gives them that same kind of flexibility, portability, getting up close, tight spaces kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? So I guess I totally get why they've gone down that route in terms of using it. But anyone who thinks it's just the iPhone and not $50,000 fucking lenses hooked up to it and Steadicam rigs and all that, I've got a bridge to sell them. But no, it does look fantastic, and it's the first of a new trilogy. So
Cool.
hopefully, it sets things up nicely. Saw 11.
Yeah, that was already meant to have been out.
I think.
End of last year. October this year it was due.
Yeah, I don't think they've actually started filming yet, though, have they? I think there were just some development delays.
Scripting. Yeah. So I watched Saw X.
Yep.
Semi-recently, I remember.
Yeah.
And again, that's another one of those films that after this first viewing, you kind of get over the shock and you go, "That's just another Saw film, isn't it?" It was great to see it for the first time, but do I want to see another one? Yeah, of course I do.
Yeah, it's that kind of series. I mean, what they did with the original 7 films,
The original 7.
the fact that they got a film a year, in even so far as the first sequel didn't start production until after the first film came out, and they still got it done and out in a year. And the fact they did all 7, one a year, and generally speaking, kept the quality pretty consistently high.
Yeah, I'd give you that.
And ended up with a series that, from beginning to end, fit well and worked well as a series of films.
It was actually, say what you want about the plot, but it was a coherent series.
Yeah, and what you had there were 2 good trilogies, and then a final film that tied it all up.
Yep.
Worked really well. So, and then obviously Jigsaw and Spiral less so.
Do you know, I'd forgotten about
Spiral. Yeah. So I mean, they tried to do something, but less successfully. But Saw 10 kind of got things back on track. Obviously, with the whole fact Jigsaw's dead kind of thing, there's limits in terms of where they can go story-wise.
I just love it. He's in 3, isn't he? Originally alive, now 4 technically.
Yeah, he dies in 3.
That's it.
Yeah,
and he's been in more dead.
So I mean, fair play, right? I don't think Tobin Bell would come back just for the paycheck.
Nah, not at all.
You know what I mean? I think he's invested in the character. I think he kind of wants it to be as meaningful as that kind of film can be, but he wants it to be of a certain quality, right? So I don't think he'd come back if he wasn't happy with it. So I'm looking forward to what they do. Anti-Donna are back on tour.
Cool.
Fucking hell.
I'd rather them go back. I'd rather them do another TV show.
Well,
I'm still yet to finish.
Big Old House of Fun.
No, I watched that. What's
Oh.
the coffee shop one?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Is it Anti-Donna's Coffee Shop? I can't remember.
Something like that.
I've not. I didn't enjoy. No. See, Big Old House of Fun. I kind of like grin and bear. Gosh, going back a few years now.
Couple of years, yeah.
Grin and bared that and enjoyed it by the end of it.
Oh, wow.
And Coffee Shop, I did enjoy a bit more
Okay.
because it was a bit more structured.
Yeah, true.
But that kind of comedy of, I don't know what you class it as. What's surrealist comedy?
Anarchic, surrealist.
Is it surrealist? I'm not.
Some
picking
of
it
it
up,
is, yeah. I mean, look, it is not to everyone's taste. Let's say that. But if you get it, if it clicks, it clicks, and to me, it just does. Something about it just.
They're clearly talented blokes.
Oh, yeah,
you know.
There's something about it that I just fucking makes me just fucking giggle like an
I
idiot.
think I prefer their live shows to their scripted telly stuff.
Maybe so. Yeah.
Seeing the live bit about the Italian waiter,
Yeah.
that broke me when I watched that on YouTube. That
Yeah.
was absolutely hilarious.
Well, I went to see him when they were in Manchester. What was it, last year? I think. Yeah, 2023. And it was fantastic, and it was good to. It's one of those ones where to be in the audience where you know that you're probably the only people who in that city who know who they are.
Yeah, I
Do
get you.
you know what I mean? In fact, I was out once I bought one of their T-shirts, merch from the merch desk afterwards. Just said Anti-Donna on it, and I was out on a walk in North Yorkshire randomly, like a few weeks later, and I had this T-shirt on, and this guy walked past and went, "Anti-Donna, best comedy ever!"
Oh
I'm
wow.
like, oh my god, like in the middle of nowhere.
See, I get that a lot with the band T-shirts I wear, but
Yeah,
that's a little
exactly,
bit more out, not as out there.
But do you know what I mean? It's like to kind of, a fellow fan here in the middle of nowhere kind
Yeah,
of thing,
yeah.
Whereas the most things I get is like, how's your auntie getting on? Why have you got a T-shirt with a name on it?
I mean, I'm just having a look now at the dates that they are sort of coming near me, but they're not at the same time.
Okay. Well,
Reasonably, I mean, they've sold out. They've nearly sold out I mean, there's probably a handful, like 10, 15 tickets left for the Bristol Hippodrome, which isn't a small
okay.
venue.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're playing some. They didn't play that far afield when they came to the UK last. They did London, Manchester, I think Glasgow, maybe Birmingham.
Well,
they're playing theatres. They're not playing arenas. I think
no,
they played.
but decent sized theatres. I mean, they're in Manchester again, so I've got my ticket booked for that.
The Apollo in
Yeah.
both Manchester and London, which I expected.
Yeah.
But there are tickets still available from £34.20. That's pretty good.
It's not bad. I mean, add the fees on, and it's nearer 45 quid.
Right, there's lots of tickets still for Landan.
Well, it's but no, I fucking love them. So I'm happy to go see them again.
Geez, that's not bad. Having a look here, looking at mid stalls, so down on the ground, you're looking at £44 a ticket before fees.
Yeah,
That's not bad to even take a punt.
get yourself a ticket, man.
I'm not going to London. And then if you want to sit right at the back, you're looking at £34.25. No, I'm not going to
Go to
buy
Manchester.
a ticket.
Go to Manchester.
Ah, fuck that. I have to go to Manchester. You're all right.
I'll be there.
Maybe all fucking Oasis and Ice Arcade.
All right, mate.
Fuck that. Oh, I don't want to do that.
But I'm very much looking forward to seeing them again.
You got any Todd?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
You fucking weirdo.
I love them. Can't wait.
Cool. Job done.
Yeah, indeed.
That was it.
And I'll be going on my own like some fucking weirdo.
Yep. In your long trench coat, nothing underneath. I know what you're like. How dare you ever suggest like ever come to Manchester.
Well, I'll be only there for like bare minimum time.
As minimum as you could possibly.
Yeah,
It's
then I'll
like
be
going to
straight
London,
back out.
isn't it? It's exactly the same.
Best thing to come out of Manchester is the road to Leeds. So,
Yeah, what's the best thing about Manchester? Leaving.
yeah. So that is the year wrapped up. We've missed a few things, I'm sure. We've,
Just a bit. Just a
but
bit. Oh yeah, Trump's going to be president.
yeah. Anyway, so I think we're done. So I don't know when we'll.
Bloody hope we're done.
I hope so. Bloody hell. I don't know when we will do this again, but if something comes up that's interesting enough, I'm sure we'll get back together and have a chat about it.
Nice.
Nicely done. So that's it from us for now. And
Ooh, that's a sinister.
for now,
You never know where we might pop up next.
Ooh.
Nowhere, because we don't do anything else.
No, this is it. Right, I'll catch you later.
Later's internet.
Bye for now.